Hi everybody, it's Sunday and we're back crafting, making this writing pouch, or hopefully we're making the writing pouch. I've been busy all morning trying to prep for this because I don't want all the, well, I won't call them catastrophes, it's just paper at the end of the day. But there was quite a bit that didn't go as I would have wished yesterday. And actually, just after we finished the live, I realised that there was something wrong and I had to take one of the pieces off, remake it. When I made it again, I hadn't realised I'd used a different printer, so the colour was different. By that stage, I'd stuck it on again, so I had to rip that off. So it was a bit of one of those days yesterday. It wasn't just me, that Mr. F was having a atrocious day. He's making the covers for the collaborative journals at the moment. And in the end, I said to him, just stop. It's one of those days. Everything's going wrong. Just stop. We'll start again tomorrow. So that's what we've done. And I've cracked on to try and get some things done and prepared and ready so you don't have to sit and watch boringness. And me just going wrong. So where are we up to? Well, this is where we're up to. We've got, which is the top? Yeah. We've got the two side flaps on with the two bits of decoration down there. We've got the long pocket down here with the three little journaling cards in. We've got these two sort of short belly band, tummy tuck type things here with the little journaling cards in. Another one here with an envelope with some journaling inside, and this journal here. So we're doing all right. We're doing not so bad. So the next thing in the kind of order of things is, it's a waist hanging around, is to do the top flap. Right. So I've kind of come prepared for that, and I've virtually made it actually. What it is, it's a piece of card that's going to be long enough to have a pocket and three tags in. That's how I measured it, that I wanted the pocket and I wanted three of these tags that come with the kit. They're really pretty, really, really pretty. And they're enhanced somewhat by that lovely Tattered Rose ink that I'm using. So that's what I did, and I'll give you the measurements in case you're following along or want to follow along at some stage in the future. So the inside bit measures 4.5, and the pocket itself is 2 by 5.5, and the width is whatever width this bit here is. So you take your width off that, and the other bit, this bit that'll go on the front, is the same as that, plus 1/2 inch to fold over to stick on. So that's where we're up to now. So let's get that bit stuck on, I think is the next thing to do. Wrong way round. Okay, so I'm just going to once again just cut these corners off so they're not visible when we come to do the back. There we are, and that's going to stick on there like that, and then when we do the front it goes over the top, so we need to make the front longer than this, but we'll come on to that. But I've used this really pretty paper, I really like it. So let's get that stuck down, and we need to abide by the same rule as yesterday, that it needs to be able to fold over. So I'll stick that down and then see where we're at. So I'm using Aleene's. It's perfectly adequate for this because, as I keep saying, it's going to have a back page over the top of it to hold it on, if you like. So an enormous amount of glue there. So that's going to go there. Let's just fold these in. And let's just fold that over, make sure it's square and centre. It's kind of the joy of having a fair bit of glue on it. So it's pretty centre, and it's pretty pushed up as far as I can get it. So let's stick that down there then. Get one of my dry wipes. Right, that should be okay, says she. It should be. So let's have a look. Yeah, you see, when it's all finished, these will go in first and then this. So that needs to come over the top of these. So it is leaving a fair sort of margin there. But I need that. So what I'm going to do is fold it over and ink that some more. Because I do need that. There's nothing I can do about it. I need it. I think I'm going to have to come back to this because it's got glue on it, so it's not inking terribly well. Yeah, but you know, that's fine. I'm happy with that. It's as good as it can be. And these tags go into there, and they just missed the top. If you can see, they just fit in there. And blue one in the centre. So that's fine. Everything fits. Oh, I know what I didn't do. Not another day again, please. No, I can't bear it. Does that want to come off there? Oh, no, it doesn't. No. Well, I want to sew around that, so that's going to be really interesting. I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and try and sew around it while it's attached to this. So that's going to be a good bit of fun to start with. Yeah, I'd forgotten I'd left that bit to do. I did glue it, but I didn't sew it. So I can do that side like that. But I obviously can't do that under the sewing machine, so I'm going to have to do it in various sides. It's not ideal. I'll do the other side first. You might go black, you might go dark for a little while, and there's not much I can do about it. Won't be very long. Oh, is it? Yeah, I mean, you know, in an ideal world, do this before you attach it, for heaven's sake, because you'll end up with a problem like this, which isn't what you want. Right, now I'm going to have to go along this bottom edge. I'm going to have to move my needle across. There, I think is the right place. What a performance! First off, this is one of these things, isn't it? It's jinxed. I'm telling you, it's jinxed. Right, hopefully that should be okay. I just move my needle back or I'll forget. Let's have a look and see. Well, it all looks fine. What was the fuss about? Oh dear. Don't you just hate it when things don't go right? But, you know, then you learn how to put them right, don't you? PDQ. I'm just going to get my little bone folder and push those stitches back down.
Hilda says it's not called alive for no reason. And Jean says you're perfect.
Oh, thanks, girls. You know, one of these days, and you're very welcome to do it in the group if you want to, you should do a little live. Do it on Facebook. It's easier to set up, I think, probably on Facebook. You should do a little live and just see what it's like, because it's a bit fraught, is what I'll say. It's a bit fraught. Those stitches need to be pressed down a bit more. Right, okay. Well, could be worse then, couldn't it? Could be worse. So, we've got a pocket now that I've sewn it and everything else. And I have, I think, somewhere, yeah, I have pre-made a card, a journaling card to go in there. It's got a lovely tag on it, thanks to Hilda. And I've just put a little collage there, butterfly and a little label thing. And that goes in there. Got an end there, can't be living with that. Look at that. And that should fit in there just nicely. And it does. My goodness me. Look at that. That's perfect. That's what I want everything to be like. But you know, we live in hope. Right, so that's fine. We've got the top done. We've got the sides done. So now it's the big front pouch part. Let me have a drink first. Should we have a roll call after that?
If you insist. Bear with. We have Sweet Pea Papers.
Hi, Terry.
Roz.
Hello, Roz.
Hilda.
Hi, Hilda.
Natalie.
Hello, Natalie. Nice to see you.
Mabel.
Hello, Mabel.
Jan Ann.
Hi, Jan. You've got me onto creating craft now.
Jean.
Hi, Jean.
Helen.
Hello, Helen.
Carrie.
Hiya, Carrie. Is that it? Is that us? Lynn Whitman, I can see.
Add R.
Pardon?
Add R.
How are you spelling that?
ADHA.
Ada. Oh, she's new, isn't she? Or he? Hello, welcome.
Benice.
Hello, Benice.
Lynn, did I say Lynn?
No, you didn't. Hello, Lynn.
Cindy.
Hello, Cindy.
Leslie.
Hello, Leslie.
Deborah.
Hello, Deborah.
I think that's everybody.
Well, thank you all for joining me. I'm very grateful to you for joining me. And I really hope this isn't a waste of your time. Or mine, for that matter, really. Right, the front pouch.
You're doing fine.
I've got some bits here that I think, yeah, they're all related to the front pouch. So there's quite a bit of it here. And the overall idea is this. You need a piece of card.
Oh, Mike.
Hello, Mike. Welcome along. Join the girls. You and Mr. F. You've got your own club going. Right, you need a piece of card that is double printed. And that's going to be the one that needs to be as wide as this. So that's going to go there. It's actually going to go the other way because we've got all the sort of cream shades inside. So you've got all these beigey, creamy sort of shades. So this is going to go here just to marry up with all the cream that's in there. Let's fold that down out of the way. It's getting a bit unwieldy now, to be fair. So that's going to go inside like that. And then, so it will fold up like that. So what comes next is this bit here. And this needs to be the same, well, you need to drop it down to a place that you like. It's not, you know, any amount will do. I think that's probably about 1 inch, 3/4 to 1 inch, something like that. And it needs to be 1/2 inch longer so you can fold it over so it can get attached. So that goes like that. Now then, this piece here, it was just a piece of ordinary card, but what I've done is I've got a file folder. Thank you, Lynn. And I've used it as a template there, look, to cut round, because I just think it looks slightly more interesting. So I've placed that onto the straight top of the paper, literally drawn around it and cut it out, and then stitched around it. So, and I like that shape. It just looks pleasing. So that's that so far. And I've stitched around the top edge of that, as I said, and I've stitched around the top edge of that. The next thing that happens is it gets a pocket on it, and I've made this pocket out of what was in the kit. It was the front of a little journal or a journaling page, I'm not sure, but I quite liked it, and I liked the colour of it. It stood out against the blue, I think, and it brought these flowers in. So that's my pocket, and it measures 5 by 3, and I'm going to place it sort of towards the bottom and in the middle widthwise. Then it's going to have 3 little journaling tags in it, like so. This is the idea, guys. So if it goes wrong, this is what it's supposed to look like. And then this is a piece of A4 or your 11 by 8 or whatever it is, but just cut down in width to 6.5 inches. So it's the full thing, but cut down to 6.5 inches. And I've backed that with coffee stained, the thicker stuff, the 160, just to give it a bit of rigidity. But it's ostensibly just a massive journaling card, really. Just I've folded it up, and it will eventually fit into there. So you'll be able to see that. Yeah, this is where we're going. Can you see where we're headed? It's all looking good. And on the back, this bit that flips out there, we've got a belly band, or a tummy tuck as we prefer to call them, which I've cut to 1 inch and something. 1.5 inches. And I've put lace down it because there are bits of lace in here. There's a bit of lace there, a bit of lace there. I could have put a bit of lace along the top of that pocket, and I might yet, because I don't like the lace to be stranded, you know, just one piece. So that's going to go there, which is sort of the inside of the pouch, and then I've got a big journaling card that's going to fit in there. Right, so now you know what to do. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye. Oh no, now we've got to try and put this together. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, the first thing I think to do is to put the pocket onto this piece while it's still sort of loose. Loosey-goosey. Take those tags out. Right, so let's measure where... Are we restricted? No, we're all right, I think, for height, so we can come to about there. There's a line in my paper there which is facilitating matters. I just want to check that that's fairly central.
Flo says good morning.
Morning, Flo. That's a genius idea you had with the with these quilting rulers, using them to really position your stamps very precisely.
I thought it was Mabel.
No, Mabel said about putting sort of medical tape on the back of them to stop them slipping.
All right. I thought she also said about that.
Oh well, let us know. I think it was Flo. But if I'm praising you and it wasn't you, Flo, then A, I'm sorry, Mabel, and B, just let me know. I need to know these things. So I'm just going to put a little mark down there, a little mark down there, and a little mark along the bottom just to help me position it when it's got wet glue on it. So here's my pocket. All I've done is folded the top in and I've sewn around the whole thing, just in keeping with everything else that's sewn around. So I'm just gonna, what shall I use? Shall I use double-sided or shall I use glue? I'll use Fabri-Tac. That's what I'll use. I'll take it off there because I don't want to get glue on there. Hold that in first. So.
Yeah, no, you're right. Maybe it was the tape. Flo was the stamps.
Thought so. I thought so, but you can never tell. I mean, you know me. We watch an American drama called Law and Order. We have right from day dot. And I was watching. Mr. F was doing something on his iPad or whatever, but watching the telly as well. And I said, oh, how about some Law and Order? You know, it's something different and we don't really have to concentrate on it. It can just be playing away in the background. So we did that. And I was watching it. I wasn't doing anything else. Usually I'm looking at YouTube or something, but I wasn't. I was really watching it. And then Mr. F says, you do know we've seen this one before, don't you? No, I don't remember it at all. My memory is absolutely shocking. It's quite worryingly shocking, actually. So I think that's where we need that.
Every day is like a new day.
Well, it is. You know, I could have watched. I mean, that was the start of Series 18 of Law and Order. It was the first one. I could have watched that entire series again and really enjoyed it again because I didn't know I'd seen it once already. Any serials or anything like that we watch, we have to make sure that we record all of them before we start watching them, because if I watch one a week, I've completely forgotten what was in the one that we've already watched. It's ridiculous. Right, I'm going to glue this down, just down the sides here, just to make my sewing life a little easier. And I'm just going to bring that up from the bottom a little bit because remember what I said about folding. So I'm just going to put some glue down these sides. I like doing that because it also locks my stitches in at the top. Because as you know, I have no confidence in Faf telling me that's a lock stitch. So just down almost to the bottom, but not quite. Right, so this is the inside, that's the outside, that's the stitching, right, okay, let's go. So we're ostensibly just making a pocket. Move that across a little bit. There we are. That's lovely. Lovely, lovely.
Well, it says she's the same. Jim is always reminding her halfway through something that they've seen it before.
It's embarrassing, isn't it? I'll say to Justin, no, we haven't. We have not. So I'll tell you what happens in the end if you want. No, just leave it be. I'm just going to put some more ink on this because it is a very subtle colour, this. It's really subtle, but I can't see any at all on this. I think it's missed the mix. And while I'm at it, I'm going to get one of these brushes are so gorgeous. I've got a whole set of them somewhere. Look at these. Look at that. Can you imagine what project you could use that on? It's gigantic. Look at it. But they're soft. They're so soft and gorgeous. I love them. I love just feeling them and looking at them. They're beautiful. And Dear Hilda bought me the whole set of these, and I've used a couple, but I'm being so sparing with them. So I don't want to use the big ones, so I got this one out. It's tiny, but I want to save the big ones. I don't know what I'm saving them for. I don't really know what project is going to come along when I need those big ones for. But this is the one I chose to use. It's not even the size of a toothbrush. Oh dear, it doesn't take much to amuse me, which is a good job really. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some of this coloured ink. I'm trying to be sensible here. Put some of this coloured ink in here at this corner. Now, those of you in England, I'm sure, will have come across a company called Royal Worcester, who made, I don't know if they do it anymore, they probably do. They make ceramics and they're called blush ivory. And they're in all sorts of shapes, but imagine a vase and it's in a sort of cream, a lovely ivory colour. And it's got flowers painted on it and it's just gorgeous. And then somebody's come along with the lightest kiss of pink and just like we distress it, they've just put that colour on it. And you know, they sell that as a product called blush ivory, and this really reminds me of it because this is this cream, and as I add the ink to it, it just defines it just a little bit more. Obviously I'm going little by little, as I would anyway, but with this brush it's very little by very little. But it just adds a bit of definition to it, and it's so lovely. So there we are, it just darkens that corner down there a little bit. Just gives us some nice definition. It's so pretty. And you can go on, you know, and make the transition smoother as you wish. But it's really lovely. It looks really nice, I think. Anyway, so that's that with the little brushes. They're lovely. Right, what was I doing? Yeah, I've glued this down here. I've now waffled long enough for it to be dry, I would say, so I can probably stitch that now because I don't want to go through that debacle that we've just had with the top pocket. So I'm going to stitch around there now. And I've already done the top, so I'm going to start at the top and work my way right round. Lovely. Right, so we now have ourselves a pocket or a pouch or whatever you want to call it. I've got new glasses. I'm not wearing them, but I have got new glasses and I really need to start wearing them because it's becoming increasingly difficult for me to see things. So, right, so that's going to go on there. And the major thing that you need to, when you're measuring it, that's going to go there like that, is to make sure that this bottom flap sits on top of this one. Because otherwise when you tie it up, it's not going to stay shut. I mean, you could have it that way if you wanted to, but I just prefer this bottom part like that. So let's stick this onto there. Have I got everything? No, I'll put the belly band on first, the tummy tuck. Previously when I've done this, I've actually sewn it on when I've sewn the pocket. And I meant to today, but I just forgot. That's not the end of the world. So we need that in the middle. What is the middle? That measures 6 3/4. So that's 3 3/8, I reckon. Keeps you on your toes with maths, this malarkey, doesn't it? I will say that. 6 3/4, so 3 3/8. Right, and the centre of my band is, I could just about stretch that to 1 3/4 there. So what's that? 7/8, I reckon. Oh, so tense. 7/8. Right, so if I line up my little marks with my little marks, it should be all right. Yeah. And I made it so it's just shorter because I don't want the lace showing through on the other side. So I'm gonna glue this on. Actually, I'm going to use double-sided because sometimes these bands can take quite a bit of pressure when you're trying to put journaling cards in. So I'm just going to put a bit of double-sided on. And the journaling card I've got is small enough that it'll still work perfectly well with the width of this double-sided.
That's the 3M that Bernice was asking about the other day, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. This is 3M. I think Mr. F gave you the details, Bernice. I think so. Hopefully you can find it. It is a very tough tape. But because it's tough, you can't break it off with the acrylic blocks like you can some of the other tape that's designed for journaling. You have to cut it off all the time. So it has its plus points and it has its negative points, as most things do. But Nancy has furnished me with loads, so I'll let you know how they go. Well, you'll see because I'll be using them on my lives. So is everybody all right today? Better than we were yesterday, do you think? Right, so that's there. Stick that down. And that's there. Let's stick that down. Right, okay. Fabulous. Let's just get the eraser. Get rid of those little pencil marks. They'll be there forever.
Yeah, it's apparently a son-in-law works at 3M.
Oh, right. Oh, well, that's good. That's perfect, in fact. Right, okay, so now we're ready, I think, to stick that onto there. And it's getting increasingly difficult now because, to turn it over and whatever, because we've got bits flying out right, left and centre. But bearing in mind it's got to go central and you've got to allow room for it to flop over there. I think we're probably getting the hang of what's what. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the Aleene's because it gives me a bit longer to faff around. There's a lot of work goes into these. You know, I mean, you say, oh, it's just a writing pouch or whatever, but actually, you know, as you can see, because I've spent all morning prepping this, believe it or not, so there's a fair bit of work goes into it. So let's get that fairly central there. Let's fold it over. Make sure that it's central there. Yeah, okay. I think that's okay. So let's hang on to that for dear life. And then push that down. Okay. I think we're not doing too badly. Put the lid back on my glue. Right, let's have a look. Oh, I'll just stick that bit down that I tried to tear off before. Shows you how strong it is, doesn't it? After a very short period of time, I couldn't get that off. It did not want to come off. So there we are. It's just like we never even made a mistake. I'll say we, it was me, in fairness. Well, I think Bob probably is your uncle at this stage. Yeah. Okay, belly band, tummy tuck thing, what do you call it, pop. Journaling card, been thingied on the back, coffee stained, and I've made it out of that nice flower, and that just fits in there. I don't know if you can see that, I'm probably off camera at this stage. So that just fits in there, like so. The side flaps fold in, the top flap folds down, this folds up. I just want to round those corners actually, and put my rounder back in where it belongs. So when I come across it, oh, here it is. Just going to round these corners here just a little bit. Well, you know, as much as the rounder will allow, really. And don't forget to ink them once you've cut them off. There we are. I've still got a loose thread there. Right, so the only other thing we need is this big journaling card, and it goes down into there. Now we've got this in place. So that's it. And it just breaks this up, and it looks nice. You know, I've chosen pink. It's just a different colour, you know. So right, I'm happy with that. These 3 tags go in here, like so. Oh, I haven't punched the little holes out for them. So just line those up. I'm not putting string or anything through them. You really could very easily on these front ones if you want to, but I'm not. And then we're back to the little brush on the prairie, and I'm just going to ink around those holes because they're very white otherwise. You don't have to be anything like careful, because if you get some pink around it, it looks really nice. And the same on here. You know, go out of your way to get some pink on it, I would say. But it's funny how white looks when you haven't got white anywhere else. it really stands out. So just be careful with that. There we are. Done and dusted. Right, they're in, they're staying in now. No more. I could put a little flower on the back as well at some stage, maybe. Right, so we're quite finished really with the inside and all that. Now we're up to this bit, which is the outside at the back. So just need two different sorts of paper, different patterns of paper, should I say. And I have pre-made the journal that's going to go in there. It's the same journal that you've seen me make millions of times. The paper is double printed, so it's got this lovely pattern on the back. And it's got this beautiful strawberry pattern for the cover. Really nice. And I've just used a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I've inked around all the pages, which is a bit of a nightmare, but it's done. And I've tied it in the centre. You've seen me do it before. So that's going to fit into there. So all we need is a piece of paper for the back and a piece of paper to make the pocket for this to go into. So we should be able to manage that, you'd think. So everything on the outside is kind of blue. Really, pretty much blue. So maybe it would be a good idea to look for some blue. I really don't know what I've got left here. So I'm hoping I've got something that's suitable. I haven't got much. I've got that. That. Oh, I've got more than I thought. That pink. Pink's nice, isn't it? And that pink. And that's it. The rest are tags and stuff like that. Right, so let's see then what we fancy. We could go pink, because there is pink in it. It's not like we haven't. I could have that for the back of the pocket, back page sort of thing, you know what I mean? And then this. Oh, I don't know if that would clash with our strawberries a bit. If I had that down there, I mean, it looks gorgeous, doesn't it? But if I was to put that in, what do you think? I don't know. I don't think that looks too bad at all, actually. I just kicked the camera. Sorry. Because these patterns here are this. So actually, I think that looks quite nice. What do you think, girls? We have another option. We've got this one with the big sort of print flowers on it. But I think they do jar a little bit with that. So put that away. And the only other real option, probably, oh, there's more. There's that pink, that's too pink. There's that. And that. Oh, there's this. And that. Oh, I don't know, I quite like this, really, if I'm honest with you. I'm going to put the back in anyway. I'm going to use this for the back. So what I want is a piece of paper that is as wide as the widest section. So it's not as wide as this white piece of paper. It's as wide as where you've come to fold it in. So the widest bit that you can find. So that's there and there. So let's cut that down. I always feel the silence when I'm doing this. So everybody is jointly holding their breath. Thank you. Right, let's have a look then. So, needed at the top. Now, before I do any of this, I need to attach my ribbon. And I told Mr. F, when you see me start on the back, tell me to attach my ribbon. Did you hear him say that?
You haven't started on it though. I was waiting until you got to the point of sticking it down.
Oh, brilliant. Then I'd have to unstick it to put my ribbon on.
No, at the point of going to
right.
stick it down,
I
not
see.
actually sticking it
So
down.
you did have it in your mind then?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
And Sweet Pea Papers asked, does closing the bottom flap on top of the bottom flap on top of the top flap, does this cause it to fall open?
No.
And I said, wait for it because there's a closure coming.
Oh, yeah, there's a closure coming. Yeah.
So I was aware.
Yeah, you were aware. So, yeah, I need to attach my closure, which is a ribbon closure. If you've got anything more jazzy in mind, use what you fancy. I'm using this cream ribbon because I just like it. It just looks shabby to me. If I had some sort of corally pinky ribbon, I might, you could probably seduce me into using that. But I've got cream and I like it. It's nice. It doesn't clash with anything. So how much of it do I need? Well, I'm going to cut it off there. I'd rather have too much because I always use my scraps anyway, so it won't be wasted. So that's fine. And this is what's going to happen. It's just going to come over and get tied in a bow. So I'm just going to make a mark on the back there as to where I need it to come to, and then I can square it up and stick it down, etc., etc. So there's my little marks there. Right. So that is 5.5 inches from the bottom. 5.5 inches from the bottom. So what I'm going to do is stick some double-sided down, not right to the edge, just a little way in from the edge. Just stick that down there. And this is going to have paper glued on top of it anyway, so don't despair. And another piece, just leave a little gap and then just another piece on top of it, sort of thing. Parallel, should I say? Parallel. Wouldn't it be funny if we got this finished today? Only been working on it since 8 o'clock this morning. Excuse me. There's still things like stamping on the back of the journaling cards, etc. Oh no, there's Jeff having to put his glasses on.
Time for the coffee, I would have thought.
Oh, time for coffee, yeah. Brilliant. Right, so that's the halfway mark of my ribbon. It's not really double-sided. It's shinier on one side. So I'll just pop that down there. That's lovely. Right, so we've got that. So then now when we turn over, we can securely tie that in place and it will add to it rather than detract from the overall look of the piece. Excellent, that's that done. Right, so where was I up to with this? I cut it out, I think, hadn't I? So I'm just checking to see if that is actually right. I think it's just a little bit too wide. Just a tiny little bit too wide. So I'm just going to, that's the width, isn't it? Just going to cut a little. It's just a smidge. It's a smidge too wide. but that can make all the difference. So let's see then, if that goes up there like that, and that goes there like that, what we're looking at. Yep, I think that's okay. So I'll check. Yeah, I think that's okay. So let's ink that good and proper. I want this to look quite pinky around the edges. Of course, you could be using walnut stain, you could be using anything to distress your work. I noticed that Hilda posted some photographs of her little, I think it's called a little red hen, her LGB that she's doing, and she'd used red ink. And I'd have never have thought of using red ink, but it looked fabulous. Thank you, my love.
You're welcome. And just for full disclosure.
What is it today? Oh, right. Okay.
Today's Snacking Live with Mr. F is brought to you courtesy of McVitie's.
Jaffa cakes. He has an interesting snacking time, doesn't he? Perhaps we ought to have a half time where we just stop, chat and eat snacks. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it?
It would.
I'm just sort of bringing that pink in around there. And I'm also going to have to do the back because there's going to be parts of this that will be, you might just see. So I'm just going to put some ink down there. Some of it is just impossible to hide it all. I mean, there shouldn't be too much on show. If there is, trim it off, you know, if it's that much. But there might just be a little bit, so. And by putting this paper on the back, you are also lending quite a bit of support to the whole thing. If you're just using copier paper though, you know, 90 GSM, whatever that is in America, just your ordinary copier paper, you might want to put a bit of cardboard, you know, an old file folder or something like that, some old food packaging, cereal box, cat food box, whatever. You might, you know, just want to put a bit over here first, just to give it some support. I mean, I've used 160 GSM paper, which is quite heavyweight, so I'm not worried about that. I'll be all right. I've got enough support. What I am worried about is that this is just, I think, just a touch too wide. And I'd rather deal with it now than later. I think it's just still a touch too wide. And now I've just inked it for Britain. Never mind. Never mind, eh? So just line it up. I'm sure we'll be all right now. If I'd had the courage of my convictions earlier, I would have taken it off then, but I didn't. I was a wuss.
People like an idea of a Q&A session.
Oh, Q&A, yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
They send the questions in beforehand.
Oh, that's giving me every chance. Thank you. Yeah, Q&A. Can't see why we wouldn't do that. Seems like a jolly good idea. Whoever thought that up? Was it Lynn Whitman by any chance?
Jen, I think.
Jen. Thanks, Jen.
And Joe Ray says, just the correct way to say scone. And I had Fiona say it the other day.
Scone?
It's scone or scone, isn't it?
Well, it depends where you come from in the country, in England. If you're from, well, I don't know, because Mr. F calls them scone, so I don't know where he gets off. But usually the posher folk from the south refer to them as scones. They have scones and tea. Shaz isn't watching today because she could have kept us right. She's from down south. But from the people up north, we say scones. So that's, that's obviously the right way to say it. Scones. Right, I'm all right now with this paper. But really, you could call them either in this country and you'd still get a scone. Let me just check. Let me double check. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, so I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac around that.
Nancy's just joined us.
Hi, Nancy. She'll be heading off soon, won't she?
Possibly.
Nice of you to join us, Nancy. Thank you very much. Probably should have used the big thing for this because it's going to be dry by the time I get to the other side. I think we're all right there. Right, so I just want to see when I put this down that I am in the right place. So it's just down a little touch from the top, in a little touch from the sides. Yes. Perfect. Those scones were delicious, weren't they, Mr. F? Delicious.
Yes.
And they were.
Yes.
So that's great. You can't see that at all from the front. You can possibly see the tiniest little bit of inked corner there, but that's fine. I'm pleased with that. That's grand. Right. Let me just get my bone folder. Well, let me put the top on my Fabri-Tac first. I'll just go over that just to make sure it really has stuck. Lovely, lovely jubbly. Okay, so hit me with a question then. I'll see if I can answer it. Go on, we'll just do one, just to see if it works.
Well, I was thinking of an old session, like.
Yes, I know, but I'm just saying
tester.
it's tester. It's a tester. Hit me with a question.
It's one of them focus groups.
Yeah, it's a focus group to see if it's going to work.
Yeah.
So has anybody got a question?
Well, Jen said earlier that she'd like to hear how Miss P met Mr. F.
Oh, I was thinking more along the lines of junk journaling. When you?
Yeah. But I think basically if you just think of Kathy Bates in Misery, you won't be far off.
That's just like not true. It's just not true. Anyway. Questions. Somewhere along the way, I lost the measurement of the piece of base. Can someone share the measurements? You mean the actual base bit? Which I guess is what you mean by base, of course. It measures 6 3/4.
Mike said, what kind of lab did you work in?
I worked in a research lab where we did... and it's 10.5. 10.5 by 6 3/4. Yeah, I worked in a research lab where we did a lot of soil analysis looking at residues that were left in the soil after people had sprayed with various things and lifted the crops. And we looked at the crop yield, in different soils, different climates, just to try and get crop yields up for people who live in more difficult parts of the world, and without doing damage to the waterways, etc., by leaving a lot of residue in the soil. So that was what I did. Sounds really boring, doesn't it? I did actually go on from there to be a drug researcher, but I wasn't there very long. But the main part of my job was soil analysis.
Sweet Pea Papers, or Terry, how do you pick which papers to match together if they're patterned?
You just kind of like them together. Sometimes
Do a lot of auditioning, really.
You do a lot of auditioning and you end up with loads of... I'll tell you, the last thing that I sold was one of these, but in pearlescent paper. And the pearlescent paper is expensive. There's no denying it. Compared to the ordinary, even this stuff that I use, the pearlescent is really expensive. And so I was having to not print out anything that I wasn't going to use, which that's not the way I normally go on. I normally print loads of stuff out, as I'm sure we all do. And then we look at them and think, oh yeah, I like that, I like that. I mean, look at all I've got left from this. I've got sheets and sheets and sheets of it here. Loads of tags. I mean, these are the prettiest tags in the world, but I haven't used them. I've printed them out. I've got pockets that I never used. More tags. Loads of stuff. Never used them at all. So they'll go into some drawer somewhere, and I'll say to myself, yeah, I'll use them on another shabby project. Another shabby project will come along and I'll go and buy some more papers and I'll forget all about those poor little things. But the pearlescent one really focused my mind, and I had to measure things and see it in my brain what was going to go with what. So I didn't have spares to audition. So what I depended on was the girls from Chapter 1 papers to have done their job in the design part of it by putting papers together that worked. And I have to say they really do, but I did buy 3 sets in the end to get all of the differences I wanted. I bought, just for reference, I bought Strawberry Garden, Shabby Patchwork and Sugared Almonds. 3 lovely sets, but I felt that I actually needed those 3 sets to get enough to give me the choice.
Mike says he's guessing you did a lot of wet chemistry and gas chromatography.
Yeah, I did. I certainly did. Oh my God. I was telling you the other day, you go into work and my manager, if you like, was... we actually did a lot that was carbon marked, that was radioactive marked. And we'd check by counting the radioactivity, which was what was in the soil, what was in the crop, what was in the waterway that washed off, etc. And so we'd know how much we dosed the whole thing with. And so you'd be hoping that your yield of radioactivity would be 100% back. I mean, it never is because you lose some, but you're aiming for 100%. And, you do all this wet chemistry, as you say, and run after run after run. Yeah. And then you'd give her the results. She'd add it up and she'd say, well, we're missing this and we're missing that. I think for the sake of completeness, we just ought to run. Oh, no. But, that's my job.
Right. Karen would like to know, is paper crafting the only hobby you have? And Lynn would want to know, how do you store the digital papers tags left over? The printed out ones, I guess she's on about.
What was the first question?
Do you have any other hobbies besides paper crafting?
I do. I do a lot of crafty things. I absolutely adore acrylic painting. And I did that ages before I paper crafted. I've never made cards. I never could really see the point in them, to be honest, because I don't really send out cards to people, and I don't receive really cards from people, so I could never see the point in making them. And they seem to always, on the shopping channels, it's always buy this kit and you can make 20 cards in half an hour, and that never appealed to me. I wanted to do something that took time. So I did, well, originally I did quilting. That was the fabric side of things. And I did an awful lot of that. Then I did acrylic painting. Then that was taken over by watercolour painting, which I absolutely love. I love watercolour painting. And then I kind of stumbled across this. I don't know how, but I did. And I was just saying to Mr. F this morning, it is the perfect craft for me because I love the pernickety side of things. I just love cutting it exactly, and maybe that's a scientist in me, I don't know, but I think it's a nice melding of precision and crafting and art comes together, and this is what you end up with, and I like that. What was the next question?
How do you store the papers and tags left over?
They go in a drawer. I have one drawer marked boho, one marked Edith, one marked shabby, and they just go in there. And if I'm really honest with you, they never see the light of day. Shame on me, but they don't. I really need to. I did try at one stage to do a challenge, a video challenge, where I'd get some of my papers like this out and try and make something out of them in 20 minutes. But it seemed to be giving everybody palpitations. We had a timer and everybody was watching it. I think Pat Fleet, poor Pat, she's not very well at the minute, but I think she was at the end of her tether. She couldn't bear it. So that kind of fell by the wayside. But there's loads of things that I'd love to store better. I mean, let's have a look at this drawer, for example, which was supposed to be under the table for things that I immediately need.
Tika says hello.
Hiya! Nice of you to join us. So I've got this little plastic box with die cuts, little plastic box with die cuts, little plastic box with Tim Holtz die cuts, my giant paper clips, like I need them every day, a stencil, some wooden numbers, blue lace, a gorgeous wooden butterfly, die cuts, some twine, like I'm ever going to use that really, some purple card, loads, just stuff in there that's just got put there, and it's probably I'm never going to move it now. So that's that good drawer that I was supposed to have, be able to clear my table off into, full of stuff. No, it's just the way it goes in this house. Anybody else need to know anything?
Well, Sweet Pea would like to know if you've ever used watercolours in your journals, and Jen suggests that maybe Fiona could show us how to do some basic watercolouring so we could use them in tags or cards in our journals.
Well, I've often wanted to do that, but I didn't know if enough of you would be interested. I think it's a lovely thing to do. It really is, and you don't have to be. I have shown it several times actually, but maybe not since we really sort of got going properly. But yeah, I'd be happy to do that. It would be a lovely thing to do, and maybe a nice thing for a Tuesday tutorial. I wonder. That might be a good thing to do for that. Yeah. So is anybody? I always make a collage from my leftovers, and what is left after that goes in the scraps box. Well, that's very organised of you. I think what I really need to start doing is cutting sort of dies out of things. But see, I mean, this is waste. Well, it's not, is it? Let's be honest. It's 4 perfectly good tags. And I don't really want to cut those up or use them for collage, because I love them the way they are. And if I could just remember I've got them, I would use them. I showed you the other day, I don't know where it is, there's a white plastic A4 box that I've got somewhere. So I've even lost the box now.
This one, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. Excuse me. Yeah, this is great. I like this, and if I could get into the habit of using this, I'd be well impressed with myself. Because it just fits A4. And these 2 blue journals that I'm doing, if I hadn't have had this box, these would be spread out throughout the house, throughout the drawers and everything. But as it is, everything I've got, all the papers I've used, the card and, the tags and everything are still in this box. So I can go back to this journal at any stage and everything that I need is still there. So that's what I need to get into the habit of doing, is using the box to contain things. Even if it's generally tags or generally boho or whatever, just so I know that in that box there is A, B or C. Anybody need to know anything else? What do you do, Mike, just to throw it back at you, that you know about chemistry? You must do something relatively interesting, I think. Well, if running gas chromatography is interesting. Yeah, because we don't know anything about our girls, do we really? Oh, Mike, sorry. You know what I mean? You just, I imagine you all have faces and hairstyles and body shapes and whatever that I've put on you, but it's purely from my imagination. I saw a photo of Nancy actually yesterday. I think she'd changed her Facebook thingy, whatever it is. And she really did not look like I imagined her. Not at all. But, so now I have to get used to that. Right, so let's crack on then. But no, I like the idea of a Q&A session. I don't have a problem with that. Right, so let's just... I don't want to use this end bit because it's... I don't like the bit that's already...
Mike says he's a chemical engineer by training and works for a pharma company.
Ah, do you, Mike? That's interesting. Interesting.
And Jen says, get ready to fall asleep, ladies. Go, Mike.
Look, it's like this. Even we don't think it's interesting. Not your job, Mike. Not your job. Chemistry. It's not the world's most interesting. I'm going to make this with a gusset, I think.
I like chemistry.
Yeah, but not when you do it every day and it's the same sort of thing every day.
Oh, no, I don't like anything I have to do every day.
No. So I'm going to put a mark there because I want to make a gusset on here. Just to get my big journal in. And a mark there. So I need 1/2 inch both sides there and 1/2 inch. And that's probably enough.
And Lynn Whitman says you need to do caricatures of them all.
And see what I think they look like. Well, I've seen Hilda in the flesh, and she's a very beautiful woman. Beautiful and slim, and she's gorgeous, actually. Gorgeous. I don't know if I had her pegged as being that, and I don't know what I had her pegged as. I mean, we're all beautiful, aren't we? In our own jolly little ways. So once I have finished this, I'm putting it up for putting it up in my Etsy shop for sale. And the funds from that, full disclosure, the funds from that go into the account which is called Painty, which gets any funds that come from anywhere. PayPal donations, sales that I make on Etsy. And now we have a new sort of fund maker, if you like. We have adverts. Now that we've got to 1,000 subscribers, we have adverts on YouTube. Now, we haven't quite got the hang of it yet, so if there's way too many adverts in the videos, bear with us. We're really just getting the hang of, because it would appear originally that you can either have no adverts, one advert, or many. And if you put many, I didn't think it meant quite as many as it does. So we're trying to refine that somewhat. So just bear with us at the moment till we get that sorted out. But know that every time that you get bombarded with a video, it's actually earning the channel some money. When I say some money, it's like, I don't even think it's a cent or a penny an advert, is it? It's not even that much. So, it's not masses, but hopefully it will accumulate at the end and we'll, be able to get something and say that this is what we got with the YouTube.
Right. Well, Nancy says that picture was 3 years old. She's now 135 pounds lighter and got white hair.
Really, Nancy? 135 pounds? That's amazing. Well done.
And Karen Hargrave would have said, since she's new to watching, do you stick to themed junk journals or do you do random idea collaborations?
Collaborations? So you mean with different people? Is that collaboration?
Well, but I think she probably means do you sometimes just put stuff together? No. Or do you always have a theme?
I always have a theme. Always. We kind of touched on this yesterday, really, that I would very much like to be the sort of person that makes junk journals. Junk. These are fancy, aren't they, when you think about it? Everything that we put in it costs money. So they're kind of fancy junk journals. Fancy. Whereas, proper junk journals and many junk journalers include things, ephemera that's actually old and actually is junk. I do that in a very sanitised way. I do like proper junk journals, however. I like them a lot. Let me just check on the width here. But I can't do it. I can't. I've tried. I can't. Yeah, I think that's just about fine for width. I don't like that bit at the top, which is fine. It can come off.
Alison Young would say, she'd also like to say, you've seen nothing till you've seen Fiona's paintings. Simply stunning.
Thanks, Alison. Thank you very much indeed. Alison has been...
I don't know what happened to you watercolour ones.
I don't know where they went, actually. Are they...
They're in a folder, aren't they? Big folder.
Yeah, I don't know where they went.
It's not this one here, is it? This one.
Oh, it could be. Alison has... I've known Alison for a long time, and Alison's come a long way. She's ostensibly a furniture painter. And it's really nice of you to join us, Alison. Thanks very much indeed. Nice to have you with us. But it's nice of you to say that you like my watercolours, etc. I'll see if I can dig out the watercolours for next time.
Got an acrylic.
Oh yeah, well, I think you might have seen that already, actually.
Well, I have.
Yeah.
It's above my desk.
Well, show them that.
Just give them something to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, this was one that we did. I don't know if Susan Hall's with us. Not sure. This is the one we did on a YouTube series, actually. There we are. And it's this...
boxcar.
Boxcar. You're looking out through the boxcar to this old barn across this grass. Nice blue sky, autumn day. And we did that in a series of, I don't know, 12 or so, something like that. Episodes, hourly episodes. Really enjoyed that one. And I'll have a look for some of the watercolours that's around. But Susan, who's a member of our group, she... are you a member of our group, Alison? Get over and join, girl. Miss Paintalot's Junk Journal group. For any of you that haven't joined, please pop over and join. It's a nice group. We're just friendly people doing what we do, and we're very supportive of each other and very encouraging. Really is. Well, I know I'm going to say this because it's my group, but it's one of the best groups I've ever been in. So it just seems to be populated by the nicest, kindest people ever. I don't know how it happened. It just happened that we just got full of lovely people. And at the moment, for those of you that don't know me, don't know the channel or the group, we have been doing a little golden book, little children's book, and we've taken it all apart and we've rebuilt it with extra pages in that we've put pockets and ephemera and that sort of stuff in. And we've just kind of coming to the end of that now, and then we're going to do a swap. So people that have done them, that feel that they want to swap with other people, everybody that wants to swap is going to give me their name, and randomly we're going to pick out who they're going to swap with. There's no pressure to swap. If you don't want to swap, don't swap. You know, if you've made it for your granddaughter or whatever, that's great. I'm delighted. You know, but if you want to swap, let me know. I'll put a post out for it. Otherwise, it'll be in bits and pieces. So don't put your name in there yet. Right, this is slow going today, isn't it? Too much talking and not enough action. Right, actually I might just put a bit of double-sided on there, just a bit of belt and braces, because that journal's relatively thick and I don't want it bursting out. Here we are. I think Mr. Fix-It's on a quest to find some of my watercolours to show you.
I'm not having any luck. I don't know what you did with that.
Are they in that? Are they in the artist cabinet?
I can't see them.
No? Oh, I didn't realise he'd looked. No, not in the top. I meant maybe the bottom drawer or something. They're around somewhere. You can tell how much they mean to me when I don't even know where they are. Yikes. Gone off at a tangent. I thought they were down here somewhere, if I'm honest with you.
Not really matters.
Is this? No, that's Beatrix Potter.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Beatrix Potter hiding in a file down here.
I don't know what you did with it.
I don't know.
Not matters.
I don't know, and you're stopping me getting this finished today.
There's one thing I need. This is possible. Yeah, you carry on.
Is it Zazzle?
I'll just mind my own business.
Is that the Beatrix Potter I've just got out?
Yeah. It was in a folder like that.
I know, but our house is populated with folders just like that.
It's true.
I don't know what's happened to that. Right, I'm going to put a bit of... I'm sorry, guys. Sorry about this. I'm distracted now because Mr. F's looking for these things.
Just carry on. Ignore me. You usually do. You know what it's like when there's a mystery afoot.
Well, it's Alison's fault. I'm going to blame Alison. Right, let's see if this fits. If it does, it'll be a flipping miracle.
So flies today.
Putting that there. Putting that there. Putting that up that edge there. Yikes, get back to where you should be. Wow, oddly enough, that looks like it fits. I haven't got any excess anywhere. Come on. Staggering. I can junk journal in the eye of a storm. I probably would as well. It's probably how you would find me. Right, let's see if this journal actually fits in there. Yes, look at that, because we've gusseted the pockets. That's pretty, isn't it? That's really, really pretty, but it needs something here. I'm not sure what, but let me reach for my box of thingies. What do you call them again? Fussy cuts. So I've got bluebirds, don't be ridiculous, blue butterflies of various sizes. I have pink roses, yellow butterfly, labels of sort of lots of different sizes. This is the bit that takes the time, isn't it? All this kind of auditioning malarkey. You know, do you like that better than that, or that better than that? Another label there. Oh, a little postage stamp thing, that's quite cute. A heart. I'm not a heart person. I'm not a hearty sort of person like that. I've found loads of labels now from Label City. These all came with, I think, sugar almonds actually. It was a sugar almond set. Right, let's see what I've got out. I don't like the rose, so it's not going on, I'll tell you that now. Right, it's probably going to be a blue butterfly because I've got more of them. That doesn't really go because there's not much yellow, so that negates that one as well. So I'm doing well with my whittling. Wonder if I should put some lace across there so you can see it. I think I should. That's my next job after this. So let's just have a look then. So I've got that. I've got pink. Pink's quite close to this background colour. It's not standing out terribly well. Let's try that one. And a butterfly. Might need that the other way around actually. Might need a blue one there.
Ellie's joined us.
Hi Ellie, thanks for joining.
Jean's had to pop off.
All right, Jean, thank you so much for joining us anyway. Appreciate it, really do. So if I put that there, if I put that there, and then put my blue butterfly, how would that look? Is that big enough, do you think? Because I have got Giganto butterfly. I quite like the big one, I think. Do you like my strap?
The smaller one, I think.
Okay. That's fine then. That's fine. I like that cream. It's quite bright and jarring. But I'm going to ink it anyway, so let's ink around all of these. You realise, guys, we have ostensibly finished this. despite all the chit chat and everything else. Right, so let's stick that on first then. Let's stick that there. Why not? Why not, I say, why not? Okay. So I'm using the lines on the paper, the grid on the paper, to keep me straight. And I'm hoping that they are straight. I've lost my dry white now. Here it is. But even if it's not straight, if I put it on straight that wasn't straight, it would look wrong anyway. So I'm using those lines. I'm going to use quite a bit of this ink on this cream card here.
Alison says she's thinking get a Sizzix. Do people have them? And there's lots of people that do.
Yeah.
She's looking at one right now, but there seems to be a lot of additional items that don't come with it that you need.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. I mean, you need cutting plates. It's probably better value if you buy one. Buy the one that's called a Big Shot, first of all. That's the one most people have, and you know it's good. So buy a Sizzix Big Shot and see if you can find the works sometimes do it. I see they have like offers where they sell everything that you need to get you going at good prices. I couldn't tell you if they have that offer on at the minute, Alison, but it is a good, you know, they do good offers. Shaz has just bought one only a couple of weeks ago, and she wants me to do a little tutorial on what you need and how you use it, etc. So I'm hoping to get that done in the really near future, and that might be of some use to you. What were you thinking of cutting, Alison? Paper, or you can kind of cut your own stencils with it. Actually, it's a really useful tool. What time is it, please?
It is 3:30.
Oh, we're all right. Yeah. I thought it was going to be much later than that. Is everybody still all right?
Kerry says she got one from the works a few weeks ago and it was the best price she could find, and it came with all the plates.
Yeah, I thought so, Kerry. Because there are plates that you need and sort of shims for different sorts of dyes, etc. It's a whole other world, to be honest. And you'll never have any money again because you'll keep buying dyes. Right, so let's put this onto here then. About there, I think, maybe. About there, yeah, okay. So I've just inked round it, just in case there was any bits left after I'd fussy cut it, there was still white. And just to take that white cut line away, you know, the depth of the paper line away, because it does show up. So it's a good idea to ink around your fussy cuts. So I'm going to put that like that. Perfect. Stay stuck, please. And it's just a bit knobbly bobbly underneath it all. Right, the other thing that I've got that I could use are these the sheet of journal that I shared with the shared on the group, the Facebook group. So I'm just thinking that maybe it would be a good idea to put one of those on here. I think so. It's busy, but it's almost too busy. So I'm just going to slow it down by adding one of these. I want to just cut it just inside that line because I don't want the line. That'll test my cutting. My cutting isn't great. It's interesting that you want to do some watercolour work. I'm heartened to hear that. Right, I've just got a little bit of line along the bottom as predicted. You would think I'd be able to cut a straight line on you. But no. Oh, there's just a little bit down here as well now.
You're the only person I know that can get a decal edge with a straight pair of scissors.
Oh, I know, it's ridiculous. You'd think after all I've done I'd be able to cut. Right, I think that is fine there. I think it lifts it. Because this is beautiful paper. It's really gorgeous. But it's just kind of too much of it, really. So I'm going to ink that up quite heavily. Put my fussy cuts back. Perhaps we should have a day where we just have a look. What's in my drawers? Don't get excited, Mike. Oh dear. Do you know what I mean? Just what's actually in my drawers, because it's probably quite interesting. And I'm quite sure I would find some stuff that I didn't even know I had. Would you like to do that? I'll just get drawer after drawer out and we'll go through and see what I've got. So I'm inking this up quite heavily with this lovely tattered rose colour, just to give it a bit of age, a bit of interest.
Well, Jen says better yours than Mr. F's drawers. Thanks, Jen.
You thought she was your friend, didn't you?
Yeah. I don't know what she's missing.
Friends can turn. I know what she's missing. The blinking on the back of the fire. Honestly. Some things that some people think
I've
are
got plenty of multi-tools in my drawers, and spanners and screwdrivers.
Well, you have, it's true, but I don't know how interested people would be. Right, I quite like that now. It's quite nicely inked up and aged from what it looked like originally. Let's see. So that's a good idea. That works. Right, so where are we going to put it? Well, let's just see what it looks like when it's actually in the pocket and judge it from there. So it's probably going to be about there, I'd say. So probably want this somewhere like that, I reckon. Just to get a ruler. I can't depend on myself. So that's 1 inch and 3/8. Ooh, that's a lot more. Oh no, it's 1 inch and 3/8. Oh, come on. That's fabulous. That's amazing. So I'm just going to put a little mark there. And a little mark, oh goodness, there. Take this out. And I want it about there, which is about 1 inch and 3/4 down. I'm just going to hold that there. Put some glue on and away we go. We are really getting near the end. I might put some lace on here. It's like I'm prolonging it. It's nice when everybody joined in with questions, didn't you think?
Yep.
Are you being cheeky again to people?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. I think that helps, this journal plate on it. It is a journal anyway, it's got loads of paper in it, and I've inked around each and every page of it. They're all inked around. It's lovely pink, that, isn't it? So there we are, that's that. Now, I was debating with myself, wasn't I, whether to put some lace on there, and I think I will, actually, just to break up where this pattern ends and this one starts, because I'm almost out of this, look. Shame, that's not the end of my lace, so don't worry. I'm going to use double-sided. I find it the most efficient at sticking lace, especially this cotton lace. This is where the end of, because it sort of absorbs the glue and it leaves none to actually stick it. It just all goes into the cotton lace. So right, there we go. Lovely, take that off. And then we'll just have a check around, make sure we've got everything that we want. And that it's looking okay. Which is the right way and the wrong way. I think that's it. Mr. F's doing some furious typing, so I don't know what he's telling you all. Who knows, eh? Yeah, I think that looks nicer, don't you? We've got a point of difference between one and the other. Right, so I'm just going to... Actually, I'm going to just... Oh no, it's stuck right to the end. We're all right. Just sometimes it can come a bit unstuck and then it gets frayed and then it looks nasty. But we're all right. That's perfect. So yeah, I like that better. I think that looks much nicer. I hope you agree. So right, let's have a quick canter through, see what we've got, see what we need to be doing. Let's see if I can get it somewhere where you can see what's going on. Right, there's... Oh, he's coming with his hand. Is that better? Oh, now my iPad's all wonky. I wish others were the same. You know who you are, ladies. What? What is he saying?
Bernice said I should be careful, and I put, trust me, I'd be the first thing to go before any crafty stuff. Bernice said she was going to say something like that, Mr. F, but she didn't want to be so bold.
I see.
Is the lead up to me putting that.
All right. Oh, thanks, Roz. Thanks, Bernice. Thanks, Jen. Good idea.
Right, are you going to have a flip through-ish?
Yes.
Do I need to zoom in or out, or you'll be all right?
I'd zoom in a little. I'll move this around.
Zoom in?
Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Let's have
I was thinking out.
No, let's zoom in and let's have a good look at everything. Make sure we've got everything just so.
That's out. That's in.
Stick with it, ladies. The seasickness will soon pass. There we go. All right.
Is that all right?
Yes. So this overall, this is the whole shebang. This is what we've been making for days, nay weeks. This is the front section. Well, it gets tied, you know, so that's it tied up. Nice, nice, nice. This is the front section. It's got a pocket with 3 little tags in it. This is a pocket with this file folder shape here. It's got a massive big journaling card in there. And this, the back of it there, which folds down to reveal our tummy tuck stroke with belly band, with this lovely, I really want to call it fabric paper behind it, and the tummy tuck itself has got lace on both sides. Okay, the next piece that comes out is the top section, and it's got a journaling card in there, really nice, butterflies, flowers, and coffee stained paper on the back. And then it opens out to reveal this pocket with 3 journaling tags on it, should I say. Really, really pretty tags they are, and the paper there. Okay, so the central section is this, and it folds out like so. See if I can come across a little bit.
Turn you off for a second.
Yeah, turn me off and you see a bit more. That's it. So it's got this, well, the central section's a large pocket with a little journal in it, a small tummy tuck with an envelope with some, a card inside, journaling card inside. The inside of the envelope has been stenciled, so, excuse me, so it's really pretty. I'm actually losing my voice.
I'm going to zoom back out a bit because
okay.
you just can't grasp what's going on, really.
Okay.
That's better.
Right, so that's the central section. Down this side of the flap, we've got a long pocket with some lace down there, 3 little cards in it, all coffee stained, all sewn around. And on this side, 2 little tummy tucks with 2 little journaling cards backed and sewn around. Right, so that's the whole of the inside, really. So what happens is these close first, and there's a nice gap up there. I'm quite pleased with how that turned out eventually. And then this is the top that folds over with the nice flowers there. And this is the front pouch that folds there. And then we would tie it. We've got the pocket there that you saw me make. And on the back, we've got a big pocket with some lace on, a lovely journal, really nice journal, quite a chunky one. Plenty of writing space in here. And just a little collaged piece there. So that's it. We've done it, girls. Have actually done it. We've got to the end, and isn't it a beaut? I do love this. It's a really useful thing, I think, and pretty. It shows each paper off to its maximum, in my mind, anyway. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to have a go at it and you want some measurements or you want some advice or whatever, you know, just ask on the group and I'll see the message and I'll reply to you. But you know, best of luck. There's loads of ways of making this that have got pockets different places, and you know, you could go to town decorating it much more than I've done. But I like the version I've come up with. It is my design. I haven't seen anybody ever make this before. Although, you know, in this world of paper crafting, I'm not saying that people haven't made it. I have never seen this made. It was out of my head. So, you know, you're welcome to go ahead with it and do it as you wish with it. As I say, these papers were chapter 1. There's 3 sets. Strawberry Gardens, Shabby Patchwork and Sugared Almonds. They're beautiful papers. They're absolutely gorgeous. I really love them. And I'm sure I'll be using them again at some stage. The next thing that I'm going to do is a boho kind of version of this. Kind of version, it won't be the same, but it'll be along these lines, but really boho, which means loads of colours, loads of gold, loads of ribbon, you know, really over the topness. And it'll be interesting to see just how different those things make our finished product compared to this. So that's it, girls. I'm going to take a video of this and it's going to be listed on Etsy. So if you want it, it'll be up there in, I don't know, half an hour or so. I'll put a message. Well, if you favorited my shop, I think you get a message when I list something anyway. So if you guys are interested in it. So thanks very much for joining me. Thanks for the questions. I like that idea of a Q&A session. I also like the idea of watercolours. And Alison and Shaz, if you're watching, but I think there's F1 on, so I've got no chance. I will be doing a thing on the Sizzix and what you need to get you going. And what's helpful, what you don't need, but it is helpful to have. So that, there's a full list of things coming up that I'm going to do. How many days are there in the week? It's great to have you all with me. I've loved it today. It's been really friendly. I felt like you were all here with me, sharing this space with me, and I love when I feel like that. So thanks, guys. Take care out there. It's a funny old world at the minute, so be careful. Stay safe, and I'll see you on Tuesday at 2:00, same time, but on Tuesday, where we'll be doing something off that list. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.